She's a menace. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Jules from Juliet Pico Designs, and I'm here with another video diary for you. I know that it has been a while. I think my last video was over 2 months ago. And I kind of told myself I was going to do these every 2 weeks. I don't know if I told you guys that, but that's what I was planning on doing. And that didn't happen. The last few months have just been wild. A lot has been going on. I was traveling. I have been in and out of doctor's offices, trying to get a bunch of chronic health issues diagnosed. I injured my thumb in a vegetable slicing accident, and couldn't knit properly for like 3 weeks. I could knit a little bit, but like not the way I wanted to. So it's just been kind of crazy, and I haven't had time to sit down and film, but I am back and things are sort of settling down for the summer. The summer is my slowest season, just because, nobody really wants to buy wool products in the summer. So I kind of just take the summer to slow down and work more behind the scenes, I guess. Less sales, more prepping for sales, prepping for the holiday season and the rush and all that. So that's kind of what I'm getting into now. It's the middle of June as I am recording this. It is very warm here in Boston. It is 90 degrees today, which I think is too hot. I am not a fan of the warm weather. Yeah, it's 90 degrees today. It's going to be almost 100 next week, I think, which is just so gross. And I'm just not going to leave the house, I think. I'm very lucky to have central AC. I really hope you can't hear the dishwasher running. It's like very loud to me, but I'm hoping it's not too loud to you. I have a new little mic, which I'm hoping is picking up my voice and not the surrounding noise. There's also like construction going on outside, but hopefully you can't hear that. What was I saying? There's just been a lot going on. It's very hot. And I also, it's been 2 months, but I don't really have that many finished objects to show you, I don't think. I have a lot of whips. I have a lot of whips that I've been making. I've been making small progress on a lot of different things. For example, the first one is the socks that I'm knitting. These are my, this is my TAATTU sock pattern. It is a formula pattern. So it's for any weight yarn, any size needle. And then I also added a 2x2 rib here. And yeah, they're 2 at a time, toe up. I'm just starting the heel. So you can see the back is just plain stockinette, but the front is 2x2 rib. And this is in my my own naturally dyed yarn. This is the Highland Sport, which is my favorite for socks because it's very like high twist, non-superwash. I have a whole spiel about that. I'll link to that blog post, because I love talking about non-superwash socks. So if you get me started, I'll never stop. But yeah, and this is the red onion dye. This yeah, I use red onion skins, and it creates this beautiful like chartreuse, which is very unexpected, and people are always delighted when I tell them that at markets. And yeah, so that's what I'm working on here. This is my go-to kind of, if I don't have anything else to work on, I just pick up a pair of socks. I always have a pair of socks on the go. It's great for travel. They're small, so they're, easy to throw in a bag, and I don't have to think about it. Like I've knit so many of my TAATTU socks that I don't really even need to look at the pattern. I need to do a little bit of math on the heel sometimes, but for the most part, I can just kind of knit and not not have to think about it at all. So that's good for when you're out and about and don't want to check a pattern. So that's this whip, and oh, I believe I hear a ghost approaching. I was hoping she would stay in her window hammock for a little bit longer, but nope, here she is. Are you gonna come join the video? Maybe, maybe not. Well, she'll either come join us or not. But, oh yeah, here she is. Okay, here, hi. I also maybe I can grab the phone and show you. But I have a new Volare cover. You guys know I love my Volare pillow, which as everybody in my last when I posted about it on Instagram, everybody pointed out, yes, it is just a boppy, but it's better than a boppy because it's a different shape slightly. I think it's a more comfortable shape, and it clips in the back. There's like a back clip. But this new cover is even more exciting because it's made especially for makers. So let me see if I can grab the camera without disrupting Ghost too much. Ooh, okay. So this one, let's see, has pockets. It has pockets. It has little loops too, and then there's another pocket back here, so you can like stick like knitting needles, crochet hooks. I like to stick my phone in here when I'm using it. And there's Ghost. Say hi to the camera. She's so funny. Let's put you back. So is that where we were before? We were like here, I guess. I don't know. Whoop, okay. Oh, and the lighting just changed very dramatically. Sorry about that. So Ghost is gonna just sit here on my Volare pillow. She loves to sit on my Volare, and that's not what it's made for, but that's what she thinks it's made for. That's what she thinks. So, but yeah, let's get into some finished. Oh, there she goes, and she's gone. Okay, that makes I'm covered in cat hair now. That makes my job a little bit easier. So I can show you my finished objects without Ghost batting at them. So the first one is a pretty fun little thing. It is this little like fisherman's hat, fishing hat. With like so this one's crochet also, by the way. This is one of my rare crochet projects. One of these little, I think they're called bobbers on it, and then I made little tassels that are like I think supposed to be like fishing lures. I don't know anything about fishing. This was my cousins asked me to make this for a friend of theirs who is having a baby. Uh, they wanted to commission a little fishing hat, so I made them a little fishing hat. But what they don't know, and I hope they're not watching, I don't think they are, but they're also expecting a baby soon. So I made another one. That one is not finished. That one is blocking right now. So I don't have it to show you, but I'm going to do, the same thing with the little tassels and the little bobber thing. I hope it's called a bobber. I can't remember. I had to buy these from, I bought like a 10 pack from Bass Pro Shop because they don't you have to buy them in like packs of 10 is like the smallest size you can buy, and it was like, I don't know, I think the shipping costs like twice as much as the actual product. But so I have like a whole pack of these. But yeah, I'm gonna make another one for my cousins, and then they'll have their babies will have little matching hats, which is gonna be so cute. And I think Ghost is gonna come back and disturb us. We'll see. But yeah, so that's one of my finished objects. Oh, and that yarn is just this is some Lion brand fisherman's wool. Nope, don't go in there, please. Lion brand fisherman's wool that I have had in my stash for a while. When you brush up against the mic, I wonder if you're making weird noises. Let's just not do that. Lion brand fisherman's wool that I've had in my stash for a very long time. And I pull it out every now and again if I'm just doing, if I just need some like scrap yarn basically. But it ended up being perfect for this. It was exactly the right color. And then it's got this little like tie thing. And then these are just some scraps. Yeah, so little crochet project for you. I don't do a lot of crochet, so this was kind of fun to practice my crochet on. The other finished object I have, my only other finished object, I only have two to show you. Sorry about that. Is this crooked now? Anyway, is a flag. This is my little Palestine flag. I made this for the Somerville for Palestine art build. We were doing like window art basically, to kind of just like show solidarity in the neighborhood and show our neighbors that we are happy to have them here. We have a lot of Palestinians in Somerville, so just a little show of solidarity. And of course, everybody else was doing these beautiful like paintings and drawings, and everybody was like so talented and creative. And I was sitting there like, I can't draw or paint to save my life, so I'm gonna knit a flag. So I knitted a flag. It's pretty straightforward. It's just garter stitch. Like I started, and then yes, it is on a knitting needle. It's just garter stitch. I knit the red triangle, and then, well, I guess how did I knit the red triangle? I guess I started here. I already forgot. I started here and then knit down, decreasing as I went. And then I picked up, or I cast on the green, like lengthwise, and then knit the green in this way, decreasing on one side, and then switched to white, kept decreasing for a little bit, then started increasing, then switched to black and increased the rest of the way. And then just so like these were all knitted together, like I didn't have to do any seaming here, so the only seams is here. And you can kind of tell it's like a little, it's not like my best work, my neatest work, because I kind of just wanted to get this done as quick as I could so I could get it up in the window. And then yeah, and then just a string, just sort of sewed it onto this knitting needle, a little string, and it hangs in my window, in my front window. And yeah, I have a free pattern for this. I wrote the pattern down. It's pretty bare bones, like it's not fancy or anything. It is literally just like kind of my own notes on like what I did. I don't even think I put like a stitch gauge or anything in there because it's not that important. Ghost is now playing with her toys, which are kind of loud. I hope she loves her mice from CVS. That's what that is. Yeah, so there's a free pattern. I'll link to the free pattern. It is really just like a free pattern though. Like it hasn't been like tech edited or test knit, but it is also like just a very simple, straightforward pattern. So it's pretty easy. If you know how to knit, you'll be able to follow the pattern. But yeah, so that's that. And then that is it for my finished objects. So now I just have my whips. And of course I have my like long ongoing whips that I've been working on forever, my socks. And then I also have, which one do I want to start with? Well, this one is kind of on hold, so I'll show you this one now. This one's a little bit, well, it's a re-release. I'm rewriting a pattern, one of my older patterns that I actually discontinued because it was just like, I think I wrote it in 2020 and it's just like not up to my current standards. So I took it down, and I have been wanting to rewrite it. So I got together with Sarah from Boston Fiber Company, my friend Sarah, and they wanted to run the Learn to Knit a Sweater class again. That we have run that class in the past, and the pattern we used the Lento sweater, which is a great sweater. It's a great pattern, but I'm just like not great at teach. I can teach classes that aren't my pattern, but I'm just much better at teaching my own patterns. It's just easier for me to talk about why certain decisions are made in the pattern, right? Like there's certain aspects of the lenta that I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't have done it that way, and that's fine because every knitter is different, and of course people are free to disagree with me. And obviously, a lot of people really like the lento because a lot of people knit it. Oh, Jesus. Just came out of nowhere. Just come sit, babes. Yeah. Yeah, so the lento, great sweater, great pattern, but I would prefer to teach my own patterns. And so Sarah and I decided that I would make a sample for the store of my new pattern, rewriting. This is my Just So Classic pattern, I probably should have said. So here it is, just past the separation for the sleeves. So I've just like about a couple inches into the body here. So it's just a very basic top-down raglan, ribbed, what's the word? Collar, ribbed collar. Nothing fancy. There's no folded collar, no fancy cast on. It's just a normal long tail cast on, 2x2 rib, basic raglan, and then it's just going to have a 2x2 rib cuffs and hem as well. Very easy to customize. If you are just looking for like a basic raglan and you want to add a little flair to it, it's going to be super easy to customize. But for the beginner sweater knitters for the Learn to Knit class, we are going to be doing, I just wanted like a really, pretty straightforward basic raglan to get kind of the, oh, and she's eating it. To get the, to get an understanding of the shaping, get an idea of how sweater knitting is different than like scarf or hat knitting, because you do kind of have to pay more attention to your gauge, and like as you're knitting, you want to make sure it's going to be the right size and all that. So that's really what the class is about. Less so about like creating a super intricate sweater, right? Like that comes later. So this is just sort of your basic, easy beginner sweater. And it's worsted weight, so it's pretty quick to knit comparatively. Obviously, it's still a whole sweater, so it does take a while. But this is the Loopy Mango Dream yarn. So it's their worsted weight merino. It's so soft. And this is the color. Let's see. Oops, I broke my. This is the color Bordeaux. So it's like a nice dark wine red. That's and I love Loopy Mango. It's just so nice, so luxurious, but also like fairly affordable, which is kind of cool. Like for such a nice fiber, it's pretty reasonably priced. But yeah, this one is on hold because that's the back. This is on hold because Sarah only had 3 skeins of this color in stock when I started it. And so I've just been waiting for a restock. So I believe it's coming in this week. So I will be able to finish this up quickly, just finish up the body and the sleeves. And then I will get that pattern re-edited and then back out in the world. So that will hopefully be coming. I originally said June, but then I still don't have the yarn and it's almost the end of June. So that will probably be July. But yeah, that is coming soon. Coming soon. Everything is always coming soon. This is another re-release. Well, I'm not really re-releasing the pattern. I wanted to knit a new sample for my first Simply the Vest, the crew neck one, not the V-neck, because I just don't knit with superwash yarns anymore, like hardly at all, especially for garments. I just don't make garments with superwash. I don't like wearing them. I don't like knitting them. I don't like how they stretch out. And so I just wanted all of my patterns to have samples in a non-superwash yarn. And the 2 samples that I had for Simply the Vest are both in superwash yarns. So I just wanted to re-knit a sample using non-superwash, and then I'll put out the pattern again. I won't actually, so my gauge is like spot on with this new yarn, so I won't actually change the pattern at all. I will just like redo the photos and all that. and sort of just have a little re-release. But here we are. I don't know if you can see. I've done the body for the most part. I just have to bind off the hem. Oh, Jesus, she's doing it again. Doing it again. Let's go with that. And now I'm just picking up, you can see here, I'm just picking up the collar. So I have my, I don't know if you can really see that. I have my little line of crochet slip stitches around the collar here, and then I'm going and picking up and knitting each leg of the crochet slip stitches. And all that does, it's hard to see here, but you'll be able to see it in the finished version, but it just makes a really like neat, you can kind of see it there. It just makes like a really neat line. You know, sometimes picking up stitches can be a little messy. So I find if you crochet, especially if you're using a contrast color, that's the other thing, is I'm using a contrast for the collar. It can just look a little messy. And so I like to crochet around an edging, around a collar, around a hem, whatever, and then pick up the crochet stitches. Just makes it very nice and neat. And so the yarn that I'm using, the main yarn, is gorgeous, sort of pinky red, is the, let's see if I have this. It is the Plies and Hellhounds Revival DK. So Plies and Hellhounds is the company. That's my friend Gabby. She's super cool. She makes really beautiful colors. Her whole vibe is like very like moody and like, I just love it so much. And this is, yeah, the Revival DK. So it is 50% non-superwash Kent Romney, 37.5%, this is so precise, 37.5% BFL and 12.5% brown BFL, which I actually, before getting this yarn, I did not know there was a difference. So that's cool. And this is the colorway Gable. So it's that, yeah, gorgeous sort of pinky red. But I wanted to do a contrast hem like my first sample that I did of Simply the Vest. So let's see, you can kind of see it here. It's just this sort of medium brown, I guess. I just think it contrasts really nicely with the gable. And this is, what is this? This was just in my stash. This is, you know what? I think this is the Hobby, I never know how to say it. It's that Danish company. This is their like non-superwash wool. I don't think they specify what breed of wool it is. It's just their non-superwash wool. And I could not tell you what color this is. I will obviously look that up and put it in the pattern when I'm ready to do that. But yeah, it's just a nice sort of medium brown. So I think that's going to be really nice. I'm very excited about that one. It's, yeah, I think that'll be my last pattern that is in, my last garment pattern that is in a superwash yarn. So after this, all of my garment patterns will be non-superwash. So that's exciting. And going forward, all patterns are going to be non-superwash. So not that I have anything against superwash in theory. Like, I know people really love it for garments because they can throw it in the washer and dryer. I just can't. I hate the way it feels. I hate, like, I feel like it gets like smelly so easily, and like wool generally doesn't. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It gives me the ick, you know? But I love it for other people. And so I do like to have options for that in my patterns. So in patterns that aren't, that I don't have yarn support for, that I'm not like working with a company to create the pattern. Because in those cases, I do just recommend the one yarn, whichever yarn is like sponsoring the pattern, basically. But for any other patterns, I like to give several options. So I do often have like non-superwash, or rather superwash options. And those are usually like, I get those ideas like from my testers a lot of the time, because they, I like to be able to like show what the pattern looks like in that yarn. So having test knitters use a yarn and then I can recommend it in the pattern. I like that because then it feels, you know, just helps knitters like make decisions about what they're going to do. But I am also always happy to help people find yarn substitutions. I love like the investigative journalism of like identifying a similar yarn that'll work in a similar way, but is like, either more affordable or like available in a certain country or, whatever. So I think that's really fun. So if you are ever working on one of my patterns and you don't want to use any of the recommended yarns, feel free to reach out to me, shoot me an email, and we can figure something out together. But yeah, that's it for garment whips. Now we're gonna move on to some fun stuff. Not that the other stuff isn't fun. It's all fun, isn't it, Ghost? Just rolled over. She's just flopping right on my Volari. Okay, not that wasn't fun, but this stuff is like really fun. And actually, technically, I guess these are finished objects, what I'm about to show you, but they're sort of part of the whole, they're part of this whole whip collection. We have got some Christmas baubles. We've got, this one might be my favorite. This one's a little Christmas pudding. And it's the cover, I like knit a little cover, and then on the inside is like the like shatterproof glass baubles. So you just kind of form them around it, and then I attached the little holly berry. Not really. Hopefully you can see that. That's my little Christmas pudding one. No, Ghost. Look at her. She's Ghost. These aren't for you. These aren't for you. If you want to see Ghost being unhinged inside of a Christmas tree, follow her on Instagram. She's at ghost.the.torby. I'll link her Instagram below. But she's a menace. She has like carved out, we have an artificial Christmas tree, and it's up right now in our house because I'm doing this collection, and so I was like, oh, I'll need to photograph all my stuff. So, but she's like dug out a little like hole for herself in the Christmas tree. I'll maybe try to throw in some footage into this video diary because it is just so funny. She's just this cat is so unserious. She's so silly and weird. Anyway, yeah, so that's the Christmas pudding one, and then this one is just some little holly berries. So cute. And this one actually, so that one is Fair Isle at the color change. This one I did Fair Isle for the green, and then I actually did duplicate stitch for the red berry, just because I didn't want to, you'd have to like carry it like from like here to here, and I just didn't want to do that. So I just duplicate stitched the red on afterwards. And then this one is true Fair Isle, true stranded colorwork, just some little trees, a little white snowy trees on a green background. So yeah, those are really fun. Those are the 3 like charts I have for these for now. This collection, I should also say, this collection is going to be my like Christmas in July collection. It's not going to be called that, but it will be coming out on July 1st. So in just like a couple weeks. And yeah, so it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be called yet. I haven't decided on a name. We'll come up with something. But coming out on July 1st, but I will hopefully be adding to it the closer we get to Christmas. So probably in like the fall, maybe November-ish, I will I might add some more charts. Like so basically it'll be the same pattern, but I'll just like have some updates with like new charts. So you could do a different little pattern here, stuff like that. And then another part of the collection. So those are the only totally finished things in that collection. Another whip, as you can see, I haven't blocked it or woven in the ends, are these little miniature raglan sweaters. So these will also be ornaments. I'm gonna do a little hanger thing here. And I basically designed them so they are top-down raglan sweaters. Like they are how you would knit a full-size one. They don't have any short row shaping at the neck because there's no neck, it's a ornament. Um, so there's not like precise shaping, but the basic construction is just that of a top-down raglan. And so it's kind of a nice, if you want to knit a garment, but you don't want to commit to knitting a whole garment, but you like want to learn how to knit a garment, it's kind of a nice little trial run, because you kind of learn the shaping and you understand how like the raglan yoke works, and then how you like separate for the sleeves and do all that. So would you please leave me alone? So those are going to be those are going to have little, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to put something on the front of the sweater. I'm going to have charts for the whole alphabet for a stocking pattern that I'll also be about to show you. And those charts they will fit onto here as well. They're each going to be, I think they're like 15 by 15. So they'll fit right here on the center of the sweater. If you want to do letters, like you can do the letters of everybody in your family, everybody's names, that kind of thing. Or you can like spell out, you can knit a bunch of these and spell out like Happy Christmas or whatever. That would be crazy. That'd be so many mini sweaters. That'd be so cool though if somebody did that. But I will also have, so I'll have letters, but then I'll also have, I haven't decided which is which. I think the pink one I'm going to do little candy canes on. I'm going to like embroider candy canes, or maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I'll do some sort of candy cane type thing on this one. And then this one I'm going to, I think, do a little Rudolph thing, like little antlers and red nose kind of situation. Maybe with I-cord, maybe just embroidering it on. I'm not sure yet, but that's going to be super fun. I can't wait for that. So those are going to be my little mini Christmas sweaters. And then here's the stockings. Neither of these have the letters on them yet. So I have a pink, oh wait, here we go. I haven't woven in the ends yet. I have this pink one. I have this marled red and pink one. And then I also have just a plain red one. And so this one I think is going to be for Ghost. This one is going to be for my roommate. And then the red one is going to be for me. So we're all going to have our own little stockings with our letters, the letters of our first name embroidered on it right there. And then it'll have like a little hanging thing, and I'll probably put like a little jingle bell on it too, just for fun. But these, similar to the raglan sweater, these are basically knit just like a toe-up sock. Like this is basically my tattoo sock pattern, but it's just one at a time. Well, I guess you can do it two at a time, but it's written for just one at a time. And it uses the contrast short row heel, just in case. You can do like a full solid one if you want, but I also wanted to give people the option of doing a contrast toe and contrast heel. So it uses that short row technique to do the heel. And then, oh, I forgot to say the yarn that I'm using for all these. This is Knit Picks Palette. I will put a link down below. I actually have an affiliate link for Knit Picks, and I would super appreciate it if you are going to shop from Knit Picks, if you'd use my link, because that just kind of gives me a little kickback there. Helps me keep making these video diaries, helps me keep making patterns for you and all that. So yeah, if you want to shop at Knit Picks, you can click that link below. And if you want to get Palette, it actually, I think the fingering weight yarn is going to be going on sale soon, because they're doing their big sale right now. So I'm not sure when the fingering weight will be on sale, but keep an eye on their website for that. But yeah, so the stockings, so the bauble covers and the miniature sweaters are all one strand of the palette. So it's just fingering weight, just their Peruvian Highland wool. non-superwash. And that's all just like normal one strand. The stockings are 2 strands. So that is why, so this is just 2 strands of, this is the color tea rose, I believe. Just 2 strands of that held together. This one, I believe this is, the red is garnet heather. So that is two strands of garnet heather held double for the contrast bits. And then here I've got 1 strand of tea rose and 1 strand of garnet heather. And so I wanted to just show like what it would look like if you marled it. I think it looks really cool. I love it marled. And I want to do more. I want to do more palette stuff marled because it is just, I think it's super pretty. So yeah, so that's gonna be the miniature stocking. They're like, because I'm struggling with what to call them because I don't want to call them miniature necessarily because please let go, please. Because I have patterns for stockings for like ornaments that are like this big. And so this is clearly like a lot bigger. This is like actually a functional, she is being such a menace. This is like a functional stocking, right? Like you can put stuff in here and like, you know, right? I can fit like my hand in there. Could be a little sock puppet. So it's smaller than like the full size stocking, but it's not miniature either. So, but I don't want to call it like medium stocking because that's boring. So I don't know what I'm going to call it, but it's, you know, it's a smaller stocking. But those are going to be fun. And then, yeah, I'm just going to duplicate stitch right here, the letters. It's going to be a little G for ghost. So those are the stockings. And then, okay, this one, I'm really excited about this one. This is also a whip, so it's hard. You'll see. This, it looks so weird. This is gonna be a Christmas cracker. So I haven't, you know, obviously I haven't finished it yet, but so what I've got here is there's just like a toilet roll in there, a toilet paper roll. And then I knit this little tube, this little stripy tube with, it's got this little picot edging. And then here you can see I did little eyelets. I'm going to weave through an I-cord and like to cinch it up. So it's going to be like cinched up here at this end. It's so hard to explain. And then this is going to fold in, and I'm going to have a tutorial associated with this because it's weird. So yeah, that's going to fold in, and then, so that's 1/2 of the cracker, and then you knit 2 basically, and then you're going to basically like stick one end. I have these, the reason I wanted to do knitted crackers is like, maybe I should explain Christmas crackers. I don't know if I've talked much about Christmas crackers in this video diary series on this channel, but basically Christmas crackers are popular in the UK and Ireland around Christmas time. It's a cardboard tube usually wrapped in like Christmas wrapping paper, like festive paper, and they are like single use, right? And so you pull them apart. Basically they look like this. You have 2 people, you have one person grab one end, another person grab the other, you pull it apart, and then there's stuff inside. There's usually like a paper crown, a little like toy, like a little trinket toy thing, and then there's usually like a joke just on a little piece of paper, like a little fortune cookie. And it's like usually like a Christmas themed joke. They're just like fun and silly, and everybody, so you open all the crackers and then everybody puts on your crown, and it's just, you all look silly and festive, and it's just fun. But they're single use only, which I don't love. I would prefer to have something that is not as wasteful. So with the knitted ones, obviously you keep the knitted parts. And I've seen a lot of patterns for knitted crackers, but they don't come apart. So it's just a long tube, like a paper towel tube, and then you just knit the whole tube and it's all continuous. And I don't I don't know really what the point of that is. I don't know if it's just purely decorative or if people, if you like, I guess you could like open it up. You know, you could have it like cinched here and you could just open, like unwrap it kind of and then get to the stuff inside. Um, but that's like not as fun. It's a lot less wasteful, but it's not as fun. I like the sort of ritual of, you know, grabbing both ends, pulling it apart, and it pops, right? It's a cracker. There's a crackle, like a snap, crackle, pop situation. Um, and so it's just fun. It's just, and it's like, ooh, you know, and then you get gifts, so it's fun. I'm not explaining this well. If you're not familiar with Christmas crackers, go like look up like a British TV show Christmas special because they'll probably have a Christmas cracker scene. Um, so yeah, so I wanted mine to actually separate. So they're gonna be two separate pieces, and you it's hard to do when these aren't tied down, but you'll basically shove one end inside the other, so it won't look like a continuous cracker, which, you know, so you're losing a little bit of the aesthetic, I guess, but you're gaining a lot of fun because you can get these I forget what they're called. They're like cracker snaps basically, and you can get a pack of like a bunch of them, and you stick one end, uh, you like glue it down or tape it down on one end, and then you know, do the other end on the other side, and then when you pull them apart, the middle bit, you know, snaps and does like the traditional cracker thing. So you'll actually be able to use it like a real cracker. And so I think that's going to be really fun, and I'm very excited to do that. I will have a tutorial video on how to actually like assemble it all, because like, yeah, it's going to be a little wonky and weird, but it's going to be super fun. And yeah, and I like the little stripes because they kind of reminded me of like little Christmas candies, little striped like peppermint candies. Um, and so I'm going to make a couple more in the other colors. So I'll have a set of 4. Um, yeah, and so those are going to be the Christmas crackers. Um, and to put inside your Christmas cracker, you need a paper crown. But again, paper crowns are wasteful. So why not a wool crown, a knitted wool crown? Oh, I'm so excited. It's just so, again, it's just so silly and fun. Like there's no point to this other than just pure whimsy, and that makes me so happy. Um, so, and yeah, and these are really easy to knit. This is just garter stitch with like little crown points, and then and you can make it's super easy to customize to whatever size you want. So those will be super fun. And then just for fun, again, even more whimsy, I made one for Ghost. She doesn't like wearing it, but now that she's sleeping, let's see if she will. No, she will still not wear it. It doesn't even go around her head. It just kind of sits on top of her head. Yeah, she hates it so much. I'm really going to struggle to get a photograph of her wearing it. I might just have to Photoshop this because she really hates it. You know what else this would be cute for though? This would be so cute to just like put on top of the tree, like instead of a star. Wouldn't that be funny? Like just a little crown on top of the tree. Let's see if I can. Oh no, okay. No, it's not gonna work. Well, we tried. It was a good thought. No whimsy for Ghost. Should I just wear this for the rest of the video? No, it looks weird. maybe for the Christmas episode, but we're not quite there yet. Um, but yeah, so all of those patterns using the Knit Picks palette are going to be coming out on July 1st. And if you're in the Boston area, or even if you're not in the Boston area, if you're online, I am doing a Christmas in July knit along, and actually it's a make along. You don't have to just do my knitting patterns. We haven't fully fleshed out all the rules yet, but yeah, doing a Christmas in July make along with Boston Fiber Company. So you can either get some yarn from Sarah's shop, or you can get a knitting pattern from me. You can also use any other like winter holiday pattern. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It doesn't have to be knitting. It doesn't have to be my pattern. It just has to be festive and fun. We're just trying to get through this awful 90-degree weather um, by having a little whimsy, a little festive fun, and pretending like it's midwinter. Because I kind of always wish it was midwinter. Of course, if it was always midwinter, I'd be bored of it. But it is my favorite time of year. So I wish I was wrapped in a sweater right now instead of wearing a crop top. But here we are. But yeah, so Christmas in July party coming soon. There will be a party at Boston Fiber Company on the 25th of July, but the make along starts on the 1st of July and goes to the 25th. And there are ways to participate both online and in person. So keep an eye out for that. That will be all of that info. The rules and all the info will be on Instagram. I will post on Instagram. I will also put it in my newsletter. So yeah, get on my newsletter, because that's how you'll actually get the information. If you want to follow me on Instagram too, you can, but the algorithm is weird and you're probably not going to see my post if I do post it. So it's better to just get on my newsletter if you want to find out about that, or on Sarah's newsletter as well. Sarah will also put all the rules and whatnot. So get on the Boston Fiber Company email list as well. Yeah, so I think that's all my whips that I can show you. I have another whip that I'm actually really excited about, but I can't tell you about it quite yet. I can't show it to you yet. I can tell you it is going to be a sweater pattern, and I will be putting out a test call for it this summer. The pattern is going to be in a publication in, I think, is it spring of 26 or maybe fall of 26? I'm not sure on the timeline quite yet, because I've only just started swatching. But the yarn is like really pretty and it's a really nice yarn, and I'm really excited to be working with this yarn company and with this publication. So I'm really excited to show you that, but I can't show you yet. But I will be putting on a test call. It'll be a secret test knit, so you won't be able to like post about it until the publication comes out. But that kind of makes it even more exciting, I think, because it'll just be a little secret between us. So if you want to be on my test knit email list, there's like my newsletter, and then there's a separate group for people who are interested in testing. So if you are on my newsletter list but not the tester list, you can sign up again for the newsletter. Just go to I'll link the link below, but it's also just on my website. And just sign up again and just click that you want to be in the tester group. It won't, since you're already in the email list, all it will do is just add you to the tester group. It won't send you double the emails or anything. So yeah, so if you want to be on the tester list, you can sign up for that. Okay, I have talked for almost an hour and I'm not done yet. So I'm going to try to get through this. I don't want this to be too long. I also have some other footage. I took a bunch of footage when I was knitting in the waiting room. I think I was knitting my red onion socks in the waiting room at my doctor's fancy new office. They have this beautiful, gorgeous waiting room. So I took some footage there that I was going to insert into this diary somewhere. And I'll try to put some video of Ghost in the Christmas tree as well. But I don't want this to be too long. So I have a couple more things to show you, and then we will wrap up. This one might just be really long, and then I promise I will go back to doing these more regularly, so they will be shorter, more palatable chunks. But okay, so in the beginning of May, I went to HH Americas in Chicago, which is the fiber and sewing industry trade show. So basically there's a bunch of yarn producers, and there's a lot of quilt people and a lot of sewing machine people too. I don't really explore that side of it too much because sewing for me is a hobby. It's not at all my job. So it's cool to see, but I'm not really there for that. I'm there for the yarn. So I have some fun things to show you. Well, yeah, I'll just get into it. So this I actually did not get at H&H. This is the Townhouse Yarns Ivy Lace. This is their alpaca silk blend. And I bought this, I want to say 2 years ago at, you know what? It was at Woolen Folk. It was at the very controversial fiber festival, Woolen Folk. I could do an episode about that if you wanted me to. It was 2 years ago though. It's a long time. But if you want to know more about that, go on Reddit because it's, yeah, Woolen Folk was messy that year. But Townhouse Yarns was there. I love Townhouse Yarns. Townhouse is the in-house dyer of This Is Knit, which is it's a local yarn store in Dublin, Ireland. And I used to live there in Dublin, and that was my local yarn store. So I love them, and I love, okay, are we moving? I don't know where we're going. Okay, well, anyway. So I love them, and I miss them because I miss living in Ireland. It was so much fun. So I bought this, and I was gonna do like a sheer sweater, like just with this. It's a lace weight alpaca silk. But I was swatching, and I was like, I'm never really gonna wear this, like realistically. And you know me, I'm all about building an intentional wardrobe. And so I was like, I'm not gonna knit this sort of novelty sweater that I'm never gonna wear. So I did some swatching, and this was a while ago. This is before H&H. I did some swatching. I actually held it with palette, which is, what I've been using for the Christmas collection. But I held it double with palette with a sort of coppery color. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I like that. I can knit a sweater out of that. Sure. Well, then I was at H&H. And the thing is, because I don't really work with superwash yarn, and previously Townhouse Yarns has only had, outside of their mohair and alpaca lace, all of their other yarns are superwash. Well, they are coming out with a new yarn. They already have the chunky version of this one out, but they're coming out with a fingering weight, non-superwash. Farm to Yarn is what it's called. So this is the Farm to Yarn 4-ply. You can see it's the Townhouse. There's the beautiful little. This is their logo is the Powers Court Townhouse Shopping Center in Dublin, which is where This Is Knit is located. And that's where I used to go hang out. There's like a cute little cafe there. There's some other little shops. It's very fun. This is the colorway Cinnabon. It's this gorgeous cinnamon color, right? And it's really like, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but there's like a little tiny bit of this same shade in the ivy lace. And so I was like, those would just be stunning together. And I really wanted to knit. I wanted to design a sweater that was like all Townhouse yarns. But I was like, oh, well, they don't have any non-superwash, so I can't do that. But now that they do, I am going to design a sweater with these two held together. So here's my swatch. I haven't blocked this one yet, so it's a little messy, but isn't it just gorgeous? I love these two colors together. I know they look, because there's such a big contrast, I was like worried that it would like look muddy or weird, but like, no, it's really nice. You get the green, you get the cinnamon. It's just so pretty. And it's just more, it's just, there's more depth of color. This one's just kind of dull. This one's just really pops. Nothing against Knit Picks palette. Obviously, I love Knit Picks palette, but with these two together, I just was like, this is just stunning. So I'm so psyched about that. And I'm excited to get to use, my friend's yarn and people who I really, really like and who I only get to see like once a year at HH Americas. So I'm really excited about that. And actually, This Is Knit is very close to my heart because as a designer, because my first published pattern that was published by somebody other than me was a shawl that was published in Knitty.com, and it used a skein of Malabrigo sock, I believe, but then it had a mini skein set of Townhouse single ply fingering weight to make little stripes and little pom-poms on the end. And that's called Pom Pom Pop. And it is still available for free on Knitty.com because Knitty.com is always, all the patterns are always free. And that was my first like officially published pattern. So I was using Townhouse Yarns, and they actually displayed it at This Is Knit for a couple of weeks while I was still living there. So that was just really special. And I like forget about that shawl all the time because I actually don't have it anymore. I don't have the sample anymore. I've moved like however many times since then. So it didn't make it through every move. I might have like auctioned it off or something. I don't know, but I don't have it anymore. But like it's still super cool to see it across the range of, you just put your foot right on my boob. She's digging her little claw right into my boob. Anyway,